Are we live yet?
Yes, we are. And Mustache is saying we're late when we're not. Shame on
Howdy,
Mustache.
y'all. How's it going? Welcome back to another playset making of Moss and Stone
Stone. All right. Let's
for
see.
EZD6.
You can't, can you know what I want to do?
What are we doing?
I can't move the audio things up and down, like reorder them, but I'm just gonna pop the
Broke
thing.
it.
No, I just don't think you can do that. So I'm gonna pop it out, and then I can see all of them.
Hello, Tal. Hello, Peter. Hello, Austin. Hello, Great Mustache. It's good to see you guys.
Keep them entertained. My cat's howling.
You're good. I'm so glad that you guys are out here helping us create this fun little project that Scrat and I have started. You guys have been a huge blessing. We have been so encouraged by a lot of you guys. It's really wonderful. And even like after the show, people are still commenting on these videos, and it's really fun to kind of just go back and read them. And it's because of you guys. You guys are making this special, and I appreciate that. And I know Scrat does too. Dance, monkey, dance.
Dance. All right. Yeah. Well, we both just got home from doing various things, so I'm trying to get into stream mode here.
Stream mode.
All right.
Oh no, I don't have my juice.
Juice. I ran out of juice. I drank the last of mine last night.
Somebody gave us this like apple cranberry juice. It's actually really good. Like really good.
Got all my chats up. We're here. What are we working on? What are we doing?
Oh,
we're
working on an EZD6 playset.
Yeah.
Called Moss and Stone. That's supposed to be a little bit like Redwall.
Just
did you need more details?
No. Stone items and tinker tools. Is that where we're?
I think that's where we're at, man. Like you brought to you by Juice. You had the cool idea. Oh man, she's sending more Moss and Stone images, man.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. That one's pretty cool looking too.
Oh yeah, that's right. She showed me that.
Yeah. That's so cool.
I'll put it out here somewhere.
Sure. That image gives it a little bit more of a like a horrifying.
Yeah, I told her. I was thinking, it's like, man, you see how there's like a hole behind him that he could crawl out of. There's a picture like that in EZD6, and I used it on the thumbnail for my review where something's like coming out of the darkness. It's like you could have him hiding in there in the dark and just the messed up face coming through.
That adds like a little bit of a horror element. That's crazy.
Well, the moss creatures are scary.
Last week we were talking about the lore, and you wrote some really cool lore that I'm excited to explore. Lore and explore the rhyme. That's kind of fun.
Explore the lore.
Explore it.
Yes,
and that's all part of Moss and Stone exploration. And
that's what brought on stone items, because I was justifying the name Moss and Stone. So the moss it's not the deity living entity kind of thing. It is just moss, but it's more so the vessel that for now, unless we decide to change it, what we're calling the green voice uses, Mother Nature or whatever their version of their good lord is. We're calling that the green voice. And like I said, the moss is kind of a vessel, what it uses to provide all that good stuff. And stone was more, it's like that's what the memories are carved into and their protection for their structures and stuff like that. So when we started, we were saying we're not really leaning into the magic. Like, we're not going to have casters. We're not going to have wizards.
Yep.
And then we started toying around the idea with priests and stuff, a little religion, and we liked that. And then I think at the tail end of last stream, we decided to bring back miracles. So we will have that. We found a very good spot for that because faith has kind of dwindled in this setting. It used to be very prominent, very important, and then bad things happened and people kind of lost it. So the faithful priests and whatnot they're going to have some really high strengths and then some really bad weaknesses, I think is kind of how they were leaning. But that did bring about stone items. That was something we wanted to look at. And before that, I had said, hey, instead of scrolls, I mean, they will function like scrolls, but instead of it being magical scrolls, we were going to have tinker tools. That was the original plan, and then we started talking about the stone items being really strong, might be able to break, and it's like, well, hey, why don't we just make those scrolls but function a little differently? And then the tinker tools are there. It's a class specific, so you have your class that has access to the tinker tools, and then specializations that do more with the tinker tools, but it is limited to those guys. Whereas the stones, if you can find, they're going to be very rare, very strong, more akin to mouse ritter tablets. But the current thing we were thinking is like every time you use one, you roll a d6, and if it hits a 1, the thing shatters and it's no more. So
blows up in your face.
It's kind of like a reusable scroll until it isn't. So
I love how you talked me off the ledge of no magic, and now we have this.
I mean, it's still magic light.
I know. It's pretty cool though. The way it ties into the lore is what I really appreciate. Yeah. We get 3 cobblestone and 2 sticks to craft a pickaxe. Then we mine.
All right. So
this music is so chill.
Well, you're probably at us. I'm at a minute. I just hit the 8-minute mark.
Okay, I'll just go right there right now.
Got that good stuff.
Got that good stuff.
All right. So yeah, do we like that? Stone items being...
Oh, I love it. Honestly, you kind of wowed me with it, man.
Okay.
It was... Because I was like, no magic, I don't want to deal with it. But I wanted that priestly feel, and you hit the sweet spot for me, and I appreciate that. So, how do you want to do this, then?
I'm going to make a section up here that says stones.
Stones? I didn't realize you were up here. I was down below.
Yeah, I just moved, so...
Snickers.
Snickers?
I'm not sure. He's snickering or eating a Snickers, but, you know, to each his own, man.
So there's our initial concept. Stones, make them function like scrolls, can be recharged, or... All right, yeah, do we want the...
How would they recharge them, though?
Well, that's getting to be very mouse rittery. So do we just want it to be something that you can use whenever, wherever, but on a 1, they're gone for good? Don't look at Discord. I don't know where he put it. Or did he just send it to you?
He sends it to me. All right. So stones, I don't like that they recharge in town.
Yeah, I like the idea of them being very special. Why you do this? Oh my goodness! Our first meme.
Our first meme.
All right.
That's so funny.
I'll be a good sport and leave it there.
All right. That's what I was cracking up about. It's killing me. I can't even look at it. Thanks, Mustache.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's make a meme category over here.
You're good. I don't know why that my eyes are watering. It's killing me that good. All right. Parts that I just caught off guard by, you know. All right. So the reason I don't like them to recharge in town is I don't feel like it fits. I like the idea that maybe they could recharge if they find a high concentration of moss or destroy a moss creature. Maybe that could be a reward.
I feel like since these are kind of remnants of the past, that's kind of how the stones work. Like they hold all the memories. They're from a different time. I think them once they're gone. It's very good.
Gone. I like that. Okay. That kind of creates a fun reward too for players.
Yeah. On a 1, stone shatters and is
gone forever.
Forever and ever and ever.
And because it's moss, they can't use karma on it. Thank you. I got my juice.
Got your juice.
My wife. Got my juice. Thank you. You're pretty.
Whoa.
I might get off the stream.
Dang.
Oh, sorry. I'm live, honey. That was rude.
Oh gosh.
I'm telling you, This cranberry apple juice is like so good. All right. So are we reflavoring some of the spells on there? Or are we building our own from scratch? Should we build a couple and
Well,
see how
so
we feel?
if this is something you can use until it breaks, then they will very much have to be different. Now, my other thing was, do we want these to be, and technically they can be both, but I was gonna ask, do we want them to be very direct things, like the spells, like you throw a fireball and do this thing, or do you want it to be more flavor text, wiggle room,
man.
like you listen to the whispers of the past long gone. The GM has to give you a hint about this room or something like that.
Oh, ooh. Man,
It could be both. You just have to keep in mind, if we're gonna have this flat rule, 1d6 break on a 1, you got to work around that. Or do we want to make the stones just like a scroll? It's a one-time thing, but they're really, really, really strong.
I actually leaning towards the.
You could flip that around. You could make it to where they're always one use, really, really, really strong, and then you could have the priest maybe has that specialization, has the ability. You roll a d6, and on a 6, you get to use it again. Like, it doesn't wear out.
Man, I'm for whatever reason, I'm like feeling the Austin Walker feel of like stone or lore bits where it creates a whisper. But oh man, I like them both. Why do you gotta do this to me, Scrat?
Well,
Because
shelf that. What do you think about making them automatic one time like a scroll, and then one of the specializations gets an ability to get more
I do think
use of
that helps flesh out the priest a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that would go with the whole faith thing.
Yeah. But you could easily, with the stone lore bits, you could easily have somebody to discover one of these and it literally speak to them with the voices.
Yeah.
And be a still give them that lore bit. Right?
Yeah, anybody can use them, but the priest just squeezes more out of them.
Yeah, but you could still have lore whispers from them, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh man, I like that. Alternate.
Like a scroll, priest.
Now, in all of your experience with EZD6, how often have you used the scrolls?
I love the scrolls.
Okay.
Like they're fantastic. Because there's a couple in there that can make you really, really strong, and I always hope to get them. But they're great. I am in, and that's why I made that shell in Nuts, because when I first started, that was just called scroll reading. I love the idea of these really powerful things you use, and then poof, they're gone. Basically just magic ammo.
Magic ammo. I like your poof.
Poof.
It's gone.
Alright. So we do that.
Somebody got some jamming tunes going. And so when we say really powerful,
Well, not delete the boss kind of powerful, but like the GM reveals a secret about this room. That's pretty strong.
I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do that, right?
Yeah. I don't even know if people can hear the music on my end. It's pretty quiet. It's also pretty quiet in my ears.
Mm.
Whoa. There we go.
What about overloading a stone and forcing it to go boom?
That's the
You know what?
heretic specialization.
There is something that we need to finish talking about, though.
What?
Because you sent me a message yesterday. This is going to derail us a little bit.
How dare.
It's all right. There is a Griffin Spade. We're gonna have to name a monster after him.
Yeah. I started bringing
I
that
just
up
wanted
earlier.
I wanted to shout out a thank you. Earlier, I was mentioning thank you to our viewers who rewatch and comment, and Griffin Spade, you're one of them. So when you watch this one, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for all of your comments and your shared ideas and stuff like that. So that's huge. I think we're gonna name a monster after him, right?
That's right. That was the plan. Something. Because
Awesome.
he had a neat, I don't know if we'll use it, but it was a really neat predator ability idea.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. I do think that, I don't know if we will use it, but the creativity is really cool.
It might cause confusion. It's like, because his idea, if I remember right, was there's predator abilities you can get from losing the roll. And my original thought was like, oh, that'd be a good one for the shield master. Like, he can offer to take a hit from something. So like when, the big snake you're fighting, he gets to use his predator ability since he won that roll. The shield guy can counter it somehow.
Yeah.
So.
But it detracts from. I don't know. We're gonna put that on the edge for right now, but I do appreciate the thought because it definitely made me think about the predator ability some more. So
It did. And that's a whole other can you can open. But it's also another thing to keep up with. So that's the problem.
That's true.
All right. So I'm in favor of the one that I circled.
Yeah. I'm gonna lean towards that too.
Yep.
Because I like the idea of giving the priest a little bit more to work with. So,
yep.
Thank you, Austin. Have a good walk, bud.
Okay, so like, I just want to try and come up with a couple stones here, and then we'll move on. Or
Yeah. Let's. I mean, it's for some reason not a whole lot is coming to my head right this moment, but. So I actually just pulled up the PDF to kind of look at the actual scrolls to see if I could get an idea of there. And I wasn't sure. So like do you have one? Maybe get a spurt here?
I just like that light one was pretty neat, where you make the ball of light that follows you. Your stone could just glow.
Oh, the actual, is there a scroll that does that?
Yeah, I think it was a scroll, or was it a inclination? I guess I should have the PDF open too.
Some of it depends on. So there is.
Oh, there's the picture I was talking about.
Oh, to pull right up on you?
Yeah, that's because I was showing it to somebody else. Let's see.
Stone of more stones. Fireball, meteor, lots of stones, boulders, pummeling enemies.
I put it down there by the picture.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. You just see the face coming out of the darkness.
Ah.
All right, so let's see. Scrolls. Oh, maybe it wasn't a scroll. That might have been. Was it just it was an inclination. The Nimbus of Light. As a free action, you can summon a floating orb of light that follows you for the day.
I mean, we have a stone that does that.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was
That's a cool.
There's one.
What about? Go ahead.
Well, there's one that's like really strong.
Well, there's an object you can see or know the location of teleports to your hand. That could be
cool.
a unique. Or better yet, the stone. You could have a stone that turns into an object, and that could become a permanent object. So that could be an interesting stone of like this. The
one that lets you summon an elemental is pretty nice.
Yeah, but what are you summoning? A bug?
Yeah.
I summoned giant worm!
Big sandworm.
I did. Your hearing becomes super sensitive for the rest of the day.
Yeah, here we go. The umbilical of Lazamoius. For the whole day, you just get to reroll all your ones. That's really strong.
That's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
That's a fine stone because you'll never find another one again. The problem is, will people use them? That's their fault if they don't.
Yep. This was not bad. The rabble rouser answers 3 questions about a held object.
I like that because of the recall knowledge check, but it was deeper. You know, like, and what's cool about that is you could spin it very flavorful, very much like, oh, the king of the past held that object in his hand. This is what he warned us of, and he could tell you of a secret tunnel that goes off to the left, and it's behind that dresser. Just chip away that wall or whatever.
Oh wow. Times, I've never even read this one. Time slipping of Seldenza. One recipient can slip time and take 10 moves and 10 actions. All tasks against time slowed targets are easy.
Whoa, that's powerful.
That's, you just delete a boss. That just hit. That's pretty cool though.
No, I like that. Maybe not 10. 10's a lot, man. But it is a one-time use.
Yeah, and like you have to find it.
If they never discover another one again, these are cool rewards to have in the world. But if you never find another one again, you're gonna be really cautious to use it. You're gonna use that as a last ditch effort. Wow,
we got there.
My tongue doesn't want to work, I guess. So I guess for me, it's the naming of these stones. So like, these are cool ideas, and I think we should take some of them. But are we naming, like, should we look up different types of moss and name them after mosses?
Why are we naming the stones after moss?
Because then you're combining moss and stone.
But the moss is its own thing.
I know. I'm just talking.
Yeah, I think like they need one word. Like scrolls is one word. It's the scroll of whatever. So you could call them the whisper of whatever if you wanted to. Because we were calling the stones the history and the whispers.
Yep, that is what we talked about.
The stone remembers. Let's see. I had something I wrote down. It's in the quotes. Stone holds truth. Moss holds mystery. Only fools forget which is which. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Actually, I started reading through your document, man. I'm getting pretty pumped. I always get caught on your red remarks, so then I want to focus on them.
All right, so let's try and come up. What do we want to call the stones?
Well, we don't actually have to name them. So hear me out. This is a mechanic that goes in the game. We list these as some examples. But the Whispering Stones are a generic item. In the sense of, like, we are not going to give... Like, you know how there's 6 groups of scrolls here in the PDF? We're not going to do that. We pick some suggested ideas to do with the stones. Right? Have, like, a couple for people to decide on, and then they can create their own? Or is that too much work on the GM?
I mean, we can come up with some, but what I was asking, do we just want to call them stones?
Like, overarching. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, and I was focused on naming individual ones, and I don't want to do that.
No. We'll do some. That way they can roll. But yeah, feel free to make up your own. I'm sure it'll be fine, just like it was with nuts. It'll go fine.
I mean, yeah. Too much creation, man. Too much freedom.
Because you gotta give them something to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying, listing off some examples. But maybe, yeah, we'll get there in a minute. The Whispering Stone. I don't know why I like that. Let's go. Speakeasy? No.
Whisper stones? That's like, aren't speakeasies
they are
the gangster things? Well, I thought I thought the front was that they were a bar, or was it no speakeasy? They were sneaking the booze, and it was fronted as something else. That's right, it's the other way around.
Yep.
Whisper stones.
Gallstone. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm gonna look up acronym for stone or cinnamon. Wow,
Cinnamon.
I'm cinnamon for stone. Trying to think of some other ideas here. I mean, what do you have?
Whisper stones.
All right, well, there, you know what? Let's just stick with it. Whisper stones. Done. Easy.
Well,
What?
I'm trying to decide if that would work against you or actually work really well. You got whisper stones, and then you got the hollow tongues, which have their own whispers, but like they're bad. You remember the moss monsters? We're calling them hollow tongues.
Yeah.
So, like, do the stones whisper? When you use them, you can hear them whispering. Whereas you can also hear the moss creatures whisper, but it's a different kind. Fills you with
It's a
dread.
unique tie-in, though,
Yeah.
because not all whispers are evil, right? Oh man, how terrible would it be? Like they fall on the ground, and as they hit their face, they hear the whispers. They could panic a little bit, but they don't realize it's good whispers, right?
Or the whispers like fill you either with dread or like you. I feel like you should absolutely
Probably
know the
that some more.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart of stone.
The heart of stone. Stone's throw. Do you not like that they both whisper?
No, I'm trying to decide whether that's good or bad. Like, it would be. I think I like it because it would be really cool. I'm imagining this setting or whatever. You know, people know the hollow tongues whisper, and they're like, that's a super scary thing. When you hear the whisper, you run, like you get away from that. You know, imagine an adventurer or somebody falling through this floor into an old ruin or something, and they're just surrounded by whispers, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, these monsters are everywhere, and then you realize that it's the stones whispering to you. So it's like you kind of have that good and bad thing going on.
A little yin and yang with the whispers.
Yeah. Gravestone. All right, let's go with Whisperstone. Let's just keep that.
Whispering gem.
High quality stones. We call gems. I was sitting here thinking, like, if you had like stones, just a very small part of this, but if your setting and game was more focused on stone, like maybe, you know, Deep Rock Galactic or something, if you were doing that, you could name all these different items or spell ability classes or something off different types of stones and gems and everything. Like, that would be super fun to have everything be gem based or something, or stone based.
Sure.
You know, that would be really
Stone.
cool. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Now we have the name Whisper Stones.
Big old blue jay at my window with a peanut in his mouth.
What's the rarity of these? So let's talk about, like, everybody knows of them.
I feel like that would player dependent, like up to the GM and your setting. Like, you could flavor it in the book as kind of like we have been doing with the other religious stuff. Like, hey, yeah, some people believe, most don't. Most people are just trying to survive. So they would think of whispering stones as hogwash, but some would be like, oh yeah, man, you know, I saw one. I heard
That's
it one
perfect.
time. Yeah. So
That's perfect.
however you want to play it. And you could be playing in an area. There's a settlement right out some ancient ruins, and they're like, oh yeah, the whispering stones are right over there. We're loaded with them, but we don't use them. We don't know how to use them. You know, you could have that.
Yeah. You can even have like a tribe that worships the Whispering Stones.
Or they just have one. Like, they just have the one on a pedestal. Players come
speaks
by
to
and take it. Yeah. So
That's
nothing
cool.
we, no pun intended, nothing we have to set in stone there. But
I mean, you're right, Mustache. I did like the gravestone. Could have worked for sure.
I have a cat now.
He gonna get you.
Oh, did you see his paws?
Yeah,
slapping at me?
he gonna get you.
So
That's
cool.
awesome.
Can we roll him into camera here? Oh, you can't quite see him.
Oh.
Hey, you're in the mic. I have a little cart he rolls around on.
He's so playful.
Oh yeah. He's the
Look at
one.
him.
He's the one that came with a warning label. Did we tell you about that?
No.
Yeah, we went to the shelter to go get us a cat. Because the other cat needed somebody to play with, and there was they all have tags on them, like name, how old they are, or whatever, whether or not they're ready to take. And it had that tag, and then like right under it was warning, very playful. And I was like, I've never seen that before. It's like, I'm already sold on this cat. I like him, but now I really want to take him. And man, we took him home. Normally they're super scared and everything. We took him home, opened up the carrier thing, and put toys in front of him, and he just played and played and played till he was panting like a dog, and we just had to take his toys away and make him stop. And he was like that for a long time.
I love it. That's so great. I love they had a warning label. That's fantastic.
Stones that are about history are called gravestones because the past fossil series. So grave to remember history. Okay.
I know that one was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're gonna stick with whisper stones for now, and I do like the idea of the howl tongues, and I like that they tie in together. Now, with that being said, let's put out some ideas here.
I'm being murdered.
He's really getting you.
Yeah, he was.
He's gonna eat you.
Murderize me. All right.
I didn't like the way that put in there.
Yeah.
Oh no! Why does it do that?
That's when you copy text from PDFs, like.
Yeah.
It don't work good.
It don't work good.
So,
I'm just throwing some out just as an idea,
are you making a text there? Okay. 10 moves.
It's a lot, but it's also if you only ever have one of these, it's I'll let you edit it. If we're both editing, it definitely doesn't like it.
Yeah, there you go. Whisper Stone of the Great Quickness.
Wow, you named that real quick.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know if we need to sit here and come up with a bunch of stones. If you want to, we can. But I think we got the idea of them down.
The concept. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to spend a ton of time on it. But we'll put this one down just because it's there.
Yeah,
it's
we can do some more. Like, I like the... Is that how we want to name them, though? Whisper Stone of? Kind of like Scroll of?
I think that's the best way to do it.
So...
I like the idea, too, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this might just be when I run it. There is you discover them, but you're not always going to know what they do right away.
You gotta take them back and to a settlement, maybe of a certain tier, like only a tier 3 settlement. That's where you can get them identified, unless you're the priest or or a scholar. I was gonna say the base class has the ability to identify.
I do like the mystery behind them too. Like, so they're not, and that way, if you end up in trouble, you might be like, "Well, I hope this saves me." Activate, and you don't even know what it does. The next thing you know, you grow limbs or something. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a different way of doing it.
Yeah. So let's. Yeah, I say we really should have left everything on the board. Let me do. I'm gonna hop over here. I'm gonna go up. Do we call them jobs or classes?
The original?
Yeah.
We're calling them gerbs.
Jobs and specializations.
I've been playing too many games, man.
Brother, it's rough. What a rough life I live.
What a rough life you're living, man.
That's what I was trying to point out in that last video. It's like, guys, I'm spoiled. And I acknowledge it.
Your last video was enjoyable, though.
It was fun. It was fun to make. It was fun to look back on everything. It's like, Yeah, here's some cool stuff. But like, I wanted to talk about Peter's wound system. I wanted to talk about the pool systems from Ironbound and Plaguebound. There was so much other. It's like, golly, I could make 10 of these videos.
Sounds like you need to make another one.
Yeah, but I don't want to wear it out. Is the thing. So, but
Yeah,
I can
that's
definitely sprinkle them in. So. The next one, the one I'm working on, it's a similar approach. Like, hey, here's just a few things, but it's some helpful tips for working on settings. Not like, oh, you should have this and you should have that. It's how do you get the brain going? Like, here's some things I do.
Ooh.
Yeah. So hopefully
That'll
that
be fun.
similar vein. Hopefully it'll be fun, helpful. Rough stones, anyone can roll a d6 and 6 it stays. If you have the class feature thing, then on 5 or 6 it stays. Smooth stones only get a charge maybe to stay if you have the class thing, or a chance to stay. Oh, I missed the rarity of the stones. Rough versus
Yeah, that's what he was
stone.
going for.
Yeah, or more. Okay. More time to smooth the stones.
Some interesting mechanics.
Yeah, I was I'm wondering, can you get the stone polished? But then how do you make the spell stronger? So
yeah.
That goes back to the idea, like if you had an entirely stone and gem based setting, like there's so much you could do there. Maybe that'll be the next thing we do. Maybe the rock and stone instead of moss and stone.
Rock and stone.
Rock and stone. All right, I was looking for priest. Student was the base one. Okay.
Student was the base job, yeah. Priest is one of the classes.
Okay. So do I want to put this on the board or just work on the document?
I mean, the nice thing about having it on the board is that people can see it, right?
I mean, I could share the, document on the screen.
The document.
The document.
All right.
We gotta zoom in on this bad boy.
Well, now I gotta figure out where you're at in the document.
That's the other thing. Can you ping?
I don't know.
I got a laser pointer. I mean, you could probably just zoom way out and see where I'm moving stuff.
What page are you on?
Page? Oh, I'm on the whiteboard. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I pasted it out there.
There we are.
But I didn't paste the.
I'm in the Word document looking for where you're at.
Student.
Student. He's a stud.
All right.
So student. This is gonna be.
Yeah,
you're learned. Go ahead.
So I'm already seeing some stuff we can change. So like scholar, maybe one student specialization should be tinker tool master instead of a scholar. It could be something like a shop master. Or do we kind of want to have a whole class tree of tinker tool stuff, right? Isn't that where we were going?
That's what we were going for.
Yeah. All right. So.
The well actually
tool.
uses karma against the GM.
Alright, so we can just get rid of all that. Armor should tinker tools be like a 5+ maybe. We'll work on it. But that's the basics. So student, we were thinking about
Able to understand.
Can identify whisper stones.
The whisper stones. Whispering or whisper stones?
Whisper stones.
Whisper stones, yeah.
And that's pretty strong on its own.
I'd say that's pretty strong, yeah.
But then we also need to put down.
It does create the requirement for the rabble rouser or the GM to make sure that they're putting them in the game.
Well, and we'll probably say they start with 1 or 2, like the conjurer. There's a couple things that start with. But what were we gonna say? Whisper stone I'm back down under stones. Identification. Tier 3 settlements, whatever we're calling them.
Yep.
Can identify these stones.
That also gives you a reason to go to tier 3.
Yeah, so you have all these stones and you don't know what they are, and they're like, oh, there's one, 10 hex grid thingies over that away. And
Because I pictured the tier 3s to be relatively rare. So it's
Now-
like,
can you use them if you don't know what they are?
I'd say yes. I absolutely love that chaos.
There's like, you're at a boss fight, you're losing. It's like, I'm gonna use this. I hope it's good. It just makes a ball of light. Boop.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was saying earlier. Like, oh, just grew tentacles. So you had no idea what it did. Oh, why is there things coming out of a portal at me?
Dude, so there's this game. I love it. My brother didn't like it. He hated it. The Ascent. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's a cyberpunk game. And I'll admit it does. I think they hammered out a lot of the issues, but by the time I played it, it ran fine.
Co-op action shooter RPG.
I love the way it plays. It's a top-down, almost a twin-stick shooter, but you build out your class and upgrade your guns and stuff. It's simple, but it's so convenient. Like, there's no inventory shenanigans. I loved it. I've played through it 3 times.
I mean, for $8, that's pretty good.
I'd play through it with you. I was gonna spoil the end. Do you want me not to now?
I mean, you can spoil the end. That's fine. Oh, sure.
You sure?
Sure.
Okay. So
They have DLC too, by the way.
yeah, I need to get it. It's a
Great
cyberpunk
Mustache has it.
setting. You have it? All right. Well, hold your ears. I'm gonna spoil the ending a little bit.
Hold your ears.
It's a cyberpunk setting, and you can tell the writer had so much planned out for this game, and then just none of it got used. Like, it is a super established world, but you don't get to explore much of it. So there's that, but the final boss is somebody's trying to make a warp gate, and basically Cthulhu is trying to come through it. There's just tentacles coming out of these warp gates, and that's the final boss fight. So that's what you were saying earlier. It made me think of it.
That's awesome.
Oh.
This actually looks like a fun little game to play.
Dude, I loved it. It's great. Like, it's just running
It's
around
got a
shooting stuff.
story.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. If you want to play through, I'll play through that one. Like I said, I played it through and then played it on New Game Plus, and that was another thing I really appreciated about it. The New Game Plus, instead of just damaging sponges everything, it gave all the bad guys new abilities and made them more difficult.
So it actually made it like a challenge.
Yes.
See, that's nice.
I loved that. But anyway,
That's fun.
Moss
All
and
right,
Stone.
back to Moss and
Whisper Stone identification. Apparently, I
I
spelled
mean,
that
at the end
wrong.
of the day, this is what this is. We're just hanging out.
We're
with
hanging
people.
out, man. Trying to
Hanging
get
out.
rich. Just hanging out, I mean. Sorry.
What? I'm in with the wrong group. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
me too. I'm broke. I need rich friends. Tier 3 settlements can identify these stones. What do we call it? The student.
The student can. Well, is it a roll or is it automatic?
I think automatic.
Okay.
Maybe,
I mean, there
maybe
might be
everybody
some-
else has the ability to roll. You got to roll 6 to identify.
Okay.
It. You want to do that or just completely not?
I don't think they should be able to.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Because then you run into, well, could I roll again?
Well, right. I think it's best to leave it for the student, or they have to go to a settlement.
Yep, I like that. And we only went with
works.
three tiers of settlements, right?
Yes, that is what we discussed.
Rank 3.
We did say rank, but that's okay.
Giant
I mean,
city.
none of that's fully set. We're still.
Yeah, but I like
Yeah,
that
see-
idea. Like, you got to go to a well-established city that would have somebody learned enough to do this, or holy
Exactly.
enough. And, you know,
Oh.
the GM can always like, hey, there's a wandering priest coming through here who might be able to help you. So
They're laden down with stones. They're like, they're not gonna make it. The GM throws them a bone. Where'd you put those? Oh, okay.
Oh, that's, yeah. So the student, so that's a pretty strong thing. So book smarts. Oh, that was also from them. So they get a little extra predator thing. Yeah. So they're intelligence things, really. Whisper Stone.
Which is cool because that feels like it can. The student gerb was kind of like messing with my head a little bit but I like that it's a study of like the ancient history. It's a study of, and so the student knows what they're looking at. They know what this rock can provide, or stone, sorry, can provide. On top of when they have a specialization.
Yeah, the student started off kind of weak, and now it's getting to be really useful. He's still a physically weak character, but he's bringing a lot to the table, which I like.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Let me
What's up?
I was separating that out a little bit. I wish you could bold and underline stuff in Excalibur, but
yeah,
I don't think you can.
Can't have everything, man.
They can change the font. That's it. Wow.
Oh. Student has a nose for stones, they knows the things.
Nose for stones. I got, you know what? Nose for stones.
There it is.
Alright, so the scholar, maybe one student specialization should be, so we're getting rid of that. We still don't know what scholar is. If we haven't
Right, I guess that, yeah.
Priest. Moss monsters are going to be a thing. This should probably be a Bundamonts. That was something. And I guess we're fine with that. Are we fine with getting predator resistances against specific things? Like our dragoon class was going to get a boost to lizards and reptiles.
Is that I'm fine with it. Is it too specific? Because it's kind of like, remember we talked about the otter having swim and how that's going to be useless.
Well, in the dragoon's case, he does get other abilities, but that's just one in a pile. Which correct. I like because, going back to the Final Fantasy XI days, the Dragoon was kind of frowned upon until that DLC came out with the island that you could take a boat to, because all the creatures were flying almost on that island, and the Dragoon got a damage buff against flying creatures. So, all of a sudden, Dragoon became really popular. Well, for a Dragoon.
Class works. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that works.
Man, what was that island called? It was right there.
I don't remember.
Alcazul or something, I don't know. That was the one the village would get raided every so often. Or the city, and you had to fight that. Oh, that was fun.
So I think it's okay. So we should probably maintain that.
So so leave in the special.
Yeah.
Your predator resistance gets a boon in this specific case. And then you have the flat across the board. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So the priest then press predator resistance to moss. Well, to hollow tongues now.
Yeah. Hollow
tongues. This probably a boon. This could be. Yep.
So you can erase all that other text.
Yep. I was making sure. Miracles. Bring back miracles. So we'll just say access to miracles, because we liked that.
I do like the miracles.
Do we have? Let me zoom out here. Do we have anything? Can you search on?
Yeah, hello. Golden Phoenix Studio.
Hello. Oh, find text on campus. Nice. Miracles. There we go. Took me right to it. That's fancy. Use vanilla EZD6 rules for miracles, but the player's predator rating will be the dice they roll for their miracle. Use this. Okay. So
we could combine the scholar and the nerd. Because the scholar could actually have the mentality.
Well, so we were leaning into a specialization here that had really good predator ratings against moss. which is already
The priest.
pretty good, all things considered. Do we want to give that same guy the stone ability
I
to?
was saying.
Hmm?
Oh, I was saying the scholar. Because like the priest, I have to go look at other specializations. Have we come? Well, it doesn't have to be. Sorry, I have a lot of thoughts in my head because how much is too much and how much is not enough, right?
Yeah.
Because like the warrior shield bearer has shield sacrifice, extra defense, and stalwart.
That's a lot.
So it is a lot.
And we broke all that
But-
up for ours. We made those different specializations.
We did. No, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so a priest already had miracles alone are pretty strong.
Are very
like
powerful.
that's, and then he gets the extra predator resistance. So scholar might be the one that can savor the stones on a 6.
Yes.
I
think
was
that
leaning more towards it being a faith-based thing, but the priest already has so much. When using a whisper stone, roll 1d6 on a 6.
So I'm glad we're on the
Stone.
same page because I was trying to justify how, because that seems that those three together seem really overpowered.
Yeah. Think of the class you want to play the most and directly or secretly give it to. Hey, I got a little squirrel visitor.
Hello, squirrel visitor.
Can you, oh, my cat. I won't be able to do that. My cord's already at its limit. I
Oh,
try.
you wanted to share.
Yeah, I was gonna. If I carry it over to the window, you won't be able to.
Oh,
Right, I don't have enough cord to do that. I can't pull it over.
yeah. No squirrels.
I really what I need to do is get another camera set up right here that just looks right out the
Just
window.
the squirrels.
Yeah.
I used to watch your video game streams. You used to have the video of the cat.
Yeah, before I was on there. And then I became
remember that.
self-absorbed and put my face everywhere.
Oh, that's okay. Sure. So, specializations. Do you want to keep the nerd, or do you want to move that?
Did we
Well,
want to do a
actually-
bard thing?
We did want to do a bard thing.
Do we? Okay.
We did talk about it.
I feel like the scholar needs a little something else. We could let him use the karma against the GM.
That's what I've been trying to say.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. that's what I meant by combine the nerd and scholar.
I like that
w-
because can you let me write it down. Karma against the GM. Because the student being able to identify the stones is really, really good, but the student is weak. Like he's got that 6+ armor. Doesn't have a lot of any combat proficiencies going for him. But like that little ability, and being able to re-roll your predator resistance die if it lands on a 1. Both of those are really, really strong. And then these two specializations, scholar and priest, again, does not make you combat strong, but really brings a lot to the table.
The utility side.
Yeah.
So if you can delete the nerd, and we can change it to bard. And the bard, is there a spend karma on others? There is a boon.
You
for
can
that.
give karma to other people, yeah. That's an
That's
inclination.
a boon. You can't just do it.
Right, it's an inclination you can pick. Also, this also keeps using karma against the GM, the scholar, that keeps them in check to an extent because you can't use karma on moss monsters.
Moss monsters. That's kind of fun.
Hero dice only. So
Yeah.
now that could be a fun where we get into the warden class or whatever, some kind of hunter. Like that could be a really strong ability. Can use karma against he's
Moss
the moss
monsters.
hunter specialization
Yeah.
or something.
That's a good idea. Did you not want to put bard under student?
Nah, we had toyed with the idea that Bard was going to be its own
job
with its specializations. Yeah.
Okay.
If we ever need it, we might, because we got a good amount.
We do have a good amount.
Let's see. My impression of Moss and Stone would be that literacy would be special. Those that can read the old runes would be special. Ho 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 ho. Read what's etched on the stones. Whisper stones.
Now, I do see a question in here. You said, the specializations need flavor text as well.
Wouldn't hurt.
I mean, I like it. So that's more final book stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Also, Mustache says, identify stones may be powerful, but is that in every game? Some games might not have it more heavily than others, and does that matter or just how it is? Well, that's something we've kind of bumped into with a couple things, and I feel like if you... I mean, you could just not pick this class. You kind of have to get with the GM, I guess, before, and be like, what are we getting into? And that is a problem you can run into, but I feel like this is just a knee-jerk reaction, but I feel like if you make classes that handle everything, then they're all the same, right?
Correct.
You get kind of generic. And
well,
like
we're
when
building this specifically for Moss and Stone.
Yeah, like when you were helping me make my character for the Pathfinder campaign, that was, very far along already. And I seen all these options to choose from. It's like, man, I could see some of these never apply. Like there was some water-based ones. I was like, are we going to be doing any swimming? And you were like, not really. So, but I was like, that could have made a really cool character.
I mean, that's most systems have that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some, like you said, if you're playing in the right character, you're playing pirates that are always at sea. Having a swimming-based character that does damage is amazing. But
yeah. Yeah, I think there was like something I could pick that would let me swing my axe underwater like a normal attack or some things like that. Hold my breath longer. I was like, heck yeah, man. Let's go scuba diving. Let's go. All right.
So we only have 2 specializations, which is fine.
That's our minimum, so we don't have to have more. And both of those are pretty solid choices, so.
They are very solid choices.
So that brings us to Tinker Tools.
Man, you're cruising today. I'm not putting the knife in Bard yet.
Okay.
I might hit you up on the Bard thoughts afterwards. Because I have some ideas, but it's we'll see. Not a big deal. All right, Tinker Tools, solid like stone. All right, tell me what your Tinker Tool job is.
Well, it was for scrolls, meaning they were gonna break after every time you used them. But now, what were we considering? Maybe the only break on a 1, but now you're... Well, no, I was going to say now you're very similar to stones, but that's just with the priest. He can...
Correct.
Or the scholar, I'm sorry. He can spare it on a 6. So stones are most likely to break, whereas Tinker Tools have a chance to break because they're rickety things slapped together. Solid like a stone. Fighter with a face. Weird music.
So Tinker Tool job. What do you...
Tinker Tools are rickety contrived and spell it. Put together that are likely to break. Whenever using one, roll 1d6. Tinker Tool break. But how do they acquire these? Do they have to buy them, or can they make them, or?
Right. Well, and what?
I was gonna say, like I said, these were originally to replace scrolls, so that's how I was thinking that you dish them out like scrolls. But do we want to... we're coming up with a whole new mechanic, essentially, here. And is that something we want to do?
Right, and I guess that's what I'm trying to understand, too. Is this... Because now that we've made the way stones are.
Yeah, we solved the scroll issue, but now we just had an idea that we liked. Tinker tools sound great. And this could be engineer. This is your engineer class.
Specialization?
Well, the job would be engineer. Because that gives you access to tinker tools. So.
Okay. Okay.
For now.
But what do the tinker tools do now that we have stones that are like the scrolls? That's my question.
Well, stones, they're more magical, so they're more like scrolls. Tinker tools are more physical contraptions, so grappling hooks, bombs, things like that. Snares, traps, ropes.
This is where your alchemist is, kind of thing.
We did one.
Demolitionist.
Yeah. So things like that so imagine like a grappling hook crossbow gun that's put together with sticks and string, it's like this is a rickety contraption. Like, how does this work? So it's most likely going to break. So you shoot it, and the whole thing falls apart, but it still works. It just falls apart.
I love it.
Yeah.
What do we do here? So we have, because we talked about the harvester. I'm just looking at some of our to see if this is
crossing
mixing
over
the harvester. Yeah, because the harvester had mobile armory. You can harvest useful parts from a larger enemy, but this is more like every day they start with contraptions they build together. Is it?
So the easy way to do it on our end is basically just do it like nuts, where tell me what you want to make and then you roll to make it, within reason.
It's a one-time use, though.
I would say that's the easy way on our end. Now, running that gets more difficult because problematic players and all that good stuff. Do they need restrained or restricted in certain ways? You could have a scrap mechanic, like, hey, you can search once or twice a day, or whenever you encounter somebody, you can see if you pull anything off useful, similar to Harvester, to see if they had anything that you can use mechanically, like take apart some of their equipment or something. On a roll of 1d6 on a 6, you find these parts that you can create your own tinker tool with.
Oh, because we were making the harvester its own job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was going to be more... I think the alchemist was going to kind of fit under that one, because then you could take bloods and poisons.
We have mobile armory, alchemist, potion brewer, and then collector.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. So the tinker tool definitely it's not harvesting the monster parts as much as it is just
finding gear on, like, the rat men attack you and you're like, well, this one had a slingshot, so I can take the sling off of that, and this one had a bow, I'll take the stick.
I'm gonna make a harpoon gun. I almost think it would work to do the generic easy way. It is EZD6. I mean, we're supposed to keep it non-crunchy, right?
Now, there's going to be specifically utility-based things, or can they do damage like bombs? Or is that a specialization?
I think the specialization would allow it to do damage. I think the job itself is utility.
Mm-hmm. Can you make big stuff like a catapult? Given enough time?
A one-time use catapult. That doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, well, if you're in it, they're all one-time use. A healer job?
There is.
What do we call it? Yeah, we took the Chirurgeon inclination, or however you say that kit, and we made that the base job. And then there are specializations revolving around that kit to do different things.
Like herbalist, doctor, and witch/voodoo doctor we talked about.
Yeah.
So there is a healer. I mean, the engineer is a unique utility-based thing, for sure. Hello, Grimwood Games.
Grimwood.
It is a lot of fun to have the ability to just craft a utility-based item with the appropriate time and energy, right? So I guess what's the limitation?
Well, if they're small things, I feel like they should be fast. And do we want to give them a role? Like, hey, you gotta. It's always this. Like on a 5+, you make what you want. Because I guess miracles kind of work that way, right? They're do what you want, but they're stronger. So is this just a lesser miracle, essentially?
With the flavor of engineering.
Yeah.
So you can't just like get water out of a stone. Drink water.
Yeah, I just did. Like right before she showed up, I took a sip. I'll take another one though.
Yeah, but if you take another one, it makes her happy.
Drive-by hydration, just drives by with a bucket of water.
Splash! So, are we trying to force this into an entire job and it's too much?
It might be. Like, we might not even need the items. Because, again, it was a scroll alternative. So, like, do we need disposable grappling hook guns? Do we need... Couldn't these just be items they get?
I mean, it reminds me, was it the Delver class? Let's look at that real quick. Was that the one that's like, come on. That was weird. Very good. Back to work now. Yes, ma'am. She's so bossy.
She is.
The Delver gear, always ready for a delve. You have a climbing kit with small, strong pitons.
Pitons.
Looped with pitons. What makes the eye hard? The metal rings as a rope guide. 50 foot of rope. And then they have Jack. You may pick a bonus inclination. So I'm just trying to figure out how to actually flesh these out. I see an image that's supposed to be there, but it's not coming up for me.
Oh, really? That was the Delver page.
Oh. Is it on stream?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. It is not loading for me.
Hit that refresh button.
I don't want to. All right. Because the Conjurer shields yourself with magic. It doesn't fit. I'm just trying to pull thoughts and to see if this is too much or not.
I'm starting to lean towards it doesn't need to exist. I'm sad to see Tinker Tools go, but
I mean, I am too. So I'm not jumping to ixnaying it right now, but I'm definitely. Does it fit somewhere else better?
Because EZD6, at least in the one shots I've done, doesn't really have item things going on. You roll for that gear, the very generic gear at the beginning, like your bone dice, caltrops, profession tools, and like very rarely in the games I've been do they actually get used.
Right. I mean, once again, that's all flavor.
Yeah, so you could make this whole other mechanic of Tinker Tool mechanic. Like these are items that you can get and find and only last this long, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, why? You don't really need it. So.
I liked it. So it worked well when we were replacing scrolls. But now that we have the stones, I think that we're okay.
Yeah. That's just items like And I always default to the grappling hook for some reason. If somebody wants a grappling hook, you could find one in a settlement or something and buy it.
You buy one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to worry about it breaking. Or it can just be something you start with, you know? Like, why not?
Or you just have fun and you're like, well, if you guys want to try to build one, we'll spend some time here. It's going to cost you a resource die because of the time spent building one. Or not resource die, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, your supply die.
Your supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be a mechanic you throw in there too, but like technically, yes, you could make jobs and specializations out of it, but I don't think you need to.
I think it might be just too much.
You could have an engineer class that starts with weird items, but you don't have to dive off into this Tinker Tool contraption.
I know, I like the Tinker Tool. I do. Hey, Dan Good.
What's up, man?
But I don't want to overcomplicate EZD6 either.
Yeah. It does seem like a Tinker Tool engineer rickety thing would fit the vibe. Like, you know, somebody just conjuring stuff together with sticks and all that. But
we could put that under the harvester. They're harvesting the
that's
sticks.
Animal body parts, though.
Doesn't have to be, though.
I mean, let me look at the harvester. What do we got there?
I'm being made fun of. Keep it simple, stupid. We're trying, Grimwood. We're trying. He's trying to kiss me. See that?
Yeah, I see that. So you can make just about anything. Golden Phoenix. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Nuts and Tales from Elsewhere both have a concept mechanic like that, where you just, it's like, here's what I want to make, and then you do the roll to see if you make it, and then it's a one-time use. So like, you know, the grappling hook gun, it breaks when you use it, or you make a bomb or something. I think when we played Tales from Elsewhere, your wife Jacob made a net launcher, and she put together. You know,
I remember that.
Shot the net, and, you know, and then the gun broke when she shot it. So that's how it works.
Which I like, but maybe this is just a specialization.
Tinker Tools, or
no, that mechanic. Because right now we have Harvester, we have their 3 strikes, armor we didn't do yet.
Yeah, we got Mobile Armory, which lets you make weapons from enemies that break on a 1. But they'll give you a boon, an additional boon, which is pretty strong. You know, the stacks. Then the Alchemist, determine whether you want a poison or a potion. Roll from a specific table after killing an enemy. Collector, you harvest the good stuff. And that's if we were going to do trading. So the collectors, yeah, maybe.
Right. I guess that's kind of what I'm.
Why is
just
your
throwing it out
paste
here.
always weird?
I don't know.
Look
I
at
copy and
all
paste
these
it from the
these
document.
weird spaces in it.
I just copy and paste it from the
I
document.
copied and pasted the student, and it didn't do all the nonsense.
Yeah, yours is pretty. Mine's ugly. I get it.
All right.
Because we don't have a flavor text. We were leaning towards the harvesting from.
Well, it's called
enemies.
Harvester, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but you harvest a field. You harvest plants. You harvest the word. I mean,
harvest does not equal build.
fine.
One is
Why is there
create,
no
one is
alchemist?
take. Because you're taking the blood of things.
I'm getting an error message from Excalibur.
Oh no. That's not ugly, it's
Oh, man.
unique. Alright, so
save my work or you will lose it all.
do I need to save it?
I don't
Save.
know. I'm getting a lot of error messages from it.
I saved it. Alright. So I think my vote is to axe Tinker Tools. I'm sad, but we can
I know.
use it somewhere
We
else.
can shelf it for something else. Yeah. We're not done crafting stuff together. But you're right. Harvest. It's such a. We're getting stuck on a stupid word. Because, I mean, with the harvester, your mobile armory is making something. Your alchemist is making something.
Is there a resource anyone can use to craft, or is it just a one-time thing? Well, that's kind of what we're figuring out, because the Tinker Tools was a solution to replacing scrolls, but we came up with something else to replace scrolls, so now the Tinker Tools are just kind of floating in space, and we're wondering, well, not wondering, where I mean, now you have, do we come up with a whole new mechanic, a whole new system, or is that too much? Because otherwise they can just be regular items, like buy them, purchase them, wherever, find them. Because yeah, if we start making these items, you're introducing a whole new mechanic, and is that something we want to do? Because Moss and Stone's already introducing safe zones. The stones are a little different than scrolls due to the specializations, and specializations are basically edges, but worked a little different. So we're, on one hand, we're already adding a lot of new things, but a lot of it is just a reflavoring and retooling of what already exists, which helps keeps it simple, but it's still a shift from vanilla EZD6. So I feel like there was some other mechanics though we just completely added, like safe zones.
I thought so too.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm just thinking of the specializations and the way they work. They're coming, like all the healing stuff. Like that's very different now.
More system is less easy.
Easy, man, easy.
Well, because we added the Bugmaster, we've added. It's more of the specializations. It's the way we've redone the jobs and stuff. Is I think is the big deal here. We did redo like the whole predator abilities. We kind of that's something we're adding.
That's the big thing. The predator. That's a whole new thing. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So adding on these little homebrew items might be a bit much.
I think it might be just as simple as they purchase what they need, and then if they don't have it, they don't have it in between settlements.
I just really like the idea of a class or a specialization making these little stick contraptions.
I love it.
It's just too complicated.
So does that make our harvester class too complicated?
No. It's not that it's too complicated, it's just too much on what's already there. So like if we have harvester and this, the harvester slides in easier because it's like kill a monster, take stuff from monster. That's it. And it has its own mechanic. Like if you take the fangs or whatever it is you decide to take, you just get a boon. It adds a boon to whatever. So like that's written down.
It's not complicated.
Right. There's a structural mechanic there.
Boons is in the system where we were about to make a.
We were coming up with a whole new thing.
Yeah. Breaks after usage and blah, and it can't be this and it has to be that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the alchemist, we're gonna have to make a roll table that they pull from.
Correct.
So.
And then the collector we're getting rid of.
Probably. I like the idea of some kind of trading. I'm not writing that one off yet, but
yeah, I just don't know how to implement it well without it being too crunchy.
Because I like how we have the supplies where we go to a thing. It's like, nope, if you're this tier settlement, you get this many supplies. Like that's it. So maybe kind of like how you roll up gear. Maybe just you can roll some gear when you go to a settlement, depending on the size. Like you could have a big table, and the farther down, like tier 1 settlement, you only get 1 through 10. Tier 2, you get 1 through 20, and then depending on the tier size, maybe you get that many more re-rolls to try and get what you want.
Or 1 through 100.
That's something we could do for gear, or we could just say.
I mean, people love their tables.
They do.
Well, because then so all the tables do. So Scotty's books all have tables at the end, right? All they are is for creating a list of items that are at the settlements. So at the end of the day, it's always going to be the GM or rabble rouser's discretion. So I actually really like that idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Why are you yawning?
It's so hot outside, man. The heat drains me.
Yeah. You should just move up here.
Yeah, I would like to move to Alaska, but I don't think anybody's gonna let me. People love rolling dice. Yeah, that's true. All right.
People do love rolling dice.
So we could. I was just thinking, the trading seems like it's going to the wayside. Because all the creatures are trying to survive and sticking together. That's why we get free supplies, we have decided. So
yes.
In that vein, so instead of just, well, you walk into this town and I want a grappling hook, it's like, well, no, we can roll to see if they have it, but also to keep you from taking just everything you roll, whether you want it or not. We could really limit what a player carries.
So I want to go back to that topic because we've mentioned it a couple times. I personally love inventory slots. So it's not like over tracking, but like I like that feeling.
It's kind of what I was thinking something really simple. Just say like you have 3 settlement slots, we'll call it. So whenever you go to a settlement, you roll that table to see what they have, or that you can take. And then when you have that super limited inventory space, it's like, okay, well, do I want to take this, or do I want to keep what I have? Like, again, the grappling hook, it's like, I really want that, but I got these other items, and like, do I want to? That way you're just not hoarding everything. And the Beast of Burden, that could be another perk for them that lets you carry another settlement slot.
So I'm 100% in agreement. I like basic inventory slots. So it's not like too much, but you can't carry everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, and this is what I meant to say too. The settlement slots, like those are specifically for settlement items. You could still say you can carry your potions or whatever and stuff like that. Like these are specific things that come from settlements to keep you from, just taking everything from that settlement. So 2 settlement slots, and then, whatever potions you want to carry that you find on your own, unless you get potions and settlements and stuff too, and that way, that would be a hard choice. It's like, dang, do I want the grappling hook or do I want the potion? It's not what can I afford and have money for, it's what do I have space for. Hoarding is not fun as it takes challenge away. Yeah. Every Skyrim character, 100 potions.
So I have a question. Is it easier to just track, besides your supplies, just have a basic inventory number for each person, instead of like, well, these go in my potion and they're unlimited? Do you know what I mean? These are my sandwiches. So you increase the size.
Your inventory slots.
So just like you have, let's just say 10, just to pick a number, right? But that is everything. That's your sword, that's your chicken, that's your whatever, like that's your sandwiches. That keeps it simple. But that also means that when you show up at a settlement, you can't fully wipe them out because you have to maintain your inventory slots, right?
Yeah, let's. How did let me so we don't end up making a whole new system here. Let me look at Wasted World.
Worlds. Yep, I have it up right now because I was theirs is a point system, if I remember correctly. Like big items are 2 points, regular items are 1,
Each
small
piece,
items are half.
yeah. Each piece of gear is assigned to size. So I almost want to simplify it a little more than that because this gave you a lot of space.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Theirs is too complicated for what we're trying to do. Theirs is the post-apocalyptic. Ours is the little creatures trying to survive.
Yeah, there's it made sense for what it was.
Oh, I love it. It's
Yeah.
for what they were doing. It fits awesome. For what we're doing, I don't think it fits.
Yeah, so I kind of similar vein, but just simplify it.
Yeah. The size of thing. Now, how much did they carry? How much could each person carry? I forgot.
That's a lot.
Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, 15 slots.
Yeah. Say,
Wearing
I
a
kind of
backpack
want to
gives
do
5 more, and then having a pack rat inclination gives 3 more. So altogether, you could be at what, 23 slots?
Yeah, say I'm really thinking something stupid small, like 3 slots, but then your gear, your weapons, like none of that counts. It's just like, nope, these are items you find. So like your Whispering Stone, that's 1 slot already taken. Whereas 6 slots would make more sense because EZD6, but I'm leaning towards the super small amount of slots to make the settlement thing work. But
Yeah.
you could fill up your roll table with junk to try and make that work.
That's what I was thinking.
And it's like, okay, here's a metal pole. It's like, yeah, you could probably bring that with you. You might find a use for it, but it's not your first choice, but that might have been what you rolled up.
Well, because when you create a character in regular EZD6, is there any limitation in EZD6?
No.
For carrying
It just
items?
says it's what makes sense. What's feasible or reasonable. Bye, Grimwood.
Bye, Grimwood Games. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
3 slots per strength. You're in the wrong game, buddy.
Zelda inventory slots.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, it's like your special items. You just sign them to the buttons. So,
right now,
let me scroll up here. I'm gonna doodle for you. This is kind of what I was thinking. So you have this big table. And then, obviously, you got, this will be the number you roll.
I mean, I understand the table.
Yeah, I'm probably mostly for myself here. So like this is tier 1.
I mean, yeah.
And that's mostly junk. It might have 1 good thing in it, like 6.
Yep.
If you roll 6, like that's what you get. And then you get down to tier 2, which is slightly better, but you'd have to set it up.
We roll and it rolls.
You're rolling starting from here. Like
so
this
you go
is
from
your,
like D6 to D12 to D20 or something.
yeah, so you'll always be rolling. T1's always included. You just get access to higher and higher things.
Correct. I mean, I saw it right away because I actually have a couple of books I use like that.
And when you get back to settlement, you can change it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, just this swapping. It's like, okay, I don't want the metal pole anymore. I want this. And it's not take it and burn it. I mean, some might be consumable, but then you're like swapping out tools, and it's like you might think, oh, that metal pole. It's like I could probably find some uses for that. You go through a couple tiles on the hex grid, and then you're like, I never really found a use for this. Was not as useful as I thought. So you roll up this other thing, and let's say, let me take that.
So it comes down to when you create a character, are we not using the common gear rules from EZD6?
We might do the Wasted World thing where we say what the class comes with.
Okay.
Yep.
And what the class comes with does not count against these inventory slots.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking. Settlement slots. I know it doesn't make sense because it sounds like you're slotting something into the settlement, but
Does having a backpack increase it by 1?
no. But your beast of burden can help with that. That could be another Beastmaster perk.
Is there an inclination that increases it?
That we might be able to do.
Okay. So I like the number of 3 or 5.
I like 3
5
because
seems-
it's half a 6.
I love you. Speaking of I love you, I have a particular image that I'm gonna have to send you that Mr. Mustache sent to me.
Oh no. Not safe for the stream. I have a friend request in Discord. Is that Mustache? It is. I don't accept friend requests, Mustache. I just accepted it.
He said Discord was giving him an issue, so he texted it to me directly. Hold on 1 second.
Are you gonna send it to me?
I am going to try to send it to you. Oh, but I'm getting an error on Discord also. Failed to send. Oh,
Discord down?
maybe.
Gear and items, gear slots, utility slots. Let's say, and then do we want to mix consumables?
That's what I don't want. So yeah, great mustache. I'm getting the same issue. It's not working for me either. I think that's too much tracking.
Also, the stones. If you only had 3 slots, if the stones took that up, so.
Well, then go to 6.
You could just be. If consumables and all that were their own thing and didn't take up slots, and this table was just for weird tools like a metal pole, a grappling hook, a bear trap, or whatever, just one slot. Like that's your special item, which is kind of what Dreadborn Hunters did. Now that I think about it, remember you got to pick a special gear thing?
You did.
Oh, I'm getting something.
What happened?
Do I want to show that on stream?
Did you get it?
Yeah, I started to open it up. I don't know if it's work safe.
That's up to you.
I don't know what it is. I can't look at it without putting it up on the stream.
Oh.
Actually, no, wait. I know I can do this.
Mine's not working, so.
It just defaulted to that browser.
Oh, interesting.
I don't want to get. Okay, yeah, I could put that on there.
It's pretty funny.
Why won't it let me copy the image? Oh, because I'm looking at it through Google, and Google's a terrible thing.
Terrible.
All right. I hate you, mustache, but I'll put it over here in the memes.
I hate you, mustache.
I keep.
You drew on it, which made it worse. Oh man, that's terrible and funny.
I hate it. All right. So, and then we would have to make the stuff more useful, and that's you could kind of slide your tinker tools in there a little bit. They wouldn't be the breaky things, but they'd be more unique and special if you just had the one slot. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So this is just one unique item.
Yeah.
So is that one stone?
No, see, that's what I'm saying. Everything else would go in your vague, abstract bag. You'd be vanilla EZD6 in that case, like whatever is reasonable and makes sense.
But then what's the point in this table?
That's rolling up your unique items.
So it's gonna be a thing full of unique items.
Yes.
No, Austin, that's not what we're saying.
Memes.
That's what we're trying to avoid. We don't want to overtrack.
Yeah. So, potions, stones,
Basic gear, rope,
basic gear. Yeah, they maybe even the rope, things like that.
a horn, whistle, chalk sticks,
That's
grappling
all the
hook,
basic vanilla.
crowbar,
Yep, goes in the bag.
Okay.
And saying your Beast of Burden from Beastmaster gets more supplies. Remember, we hammered that one out, and that's pretty important. And then you could also do flavor stuff in there too. Like, hey, I found this really cool thing that's kind of big. You know, it doesn't make sense for me to carry it, but I got Bug Boy over here. I can put it on.
So what is the give me a unique item?
The grappling hook launcher.
Oh, a launcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not just a grappling hook on a rope. I'm talking like a thing you shoot out there. Things like that. And it could be like, hey, here's a bomb. This is from the settlement. Like that goes in your special slot. It's a one-time use, but
okay.
And you could get special consumables that go in that slot, but this is just your unique settlement item. And consumables would probably be a good idea since you get to re-roll it each settlement. It's just something you get to take with you. And it doesn't need to be super strong, because since you're going to be rolling up a new one each settlement you go to, and it can encourage you to play with other things like, well, let me try the grappling hook launcher, let me try the bomb, let me just try this metal pole, see what I can do with it. But it also reinforces the community thing we were going for with how supplies work, because when you go back to a settlement, you're trading in that tool you have. And if we just wanted to keep the name Tinker Tools, it could just be your Tinker Tool slot. Each settlement provides you with a Tinker Tool that you get to roll. Your Tinker Tool table.
Sure.
Your Gravedigger shovel. Bombs away. There you go.
I'm just trying to make sure that it's not... Is making a list of 20 unique items going to be hard? I don't think so.
We'll figure it out. Does it need to be 20? Or does it need to be 18?
It needs to be... Well, do you have a D18?
You couldn't do that. I was just adding D6s. One D6 for each settlement.
I was going 6, 12, 20.
Yeah.
Because that's common dice.
Well, how do you do the thing with the D6s? What do they call that? A D66, where you roll 2? And like one's the... But that's not actually 66.
Not.
How many is it? It's like... Is it 36?
I don't remember now.
That might be too many.
Well, I mean, 20 is fine. Plus, it will have the caveat of like use at your discretion, GM.
I said you could also do it just like the vanilla EZD6 inventory is. You roll the D4 to see which group you get, and then you roll a D6 in that group. Because like your tier 1 settlement, it's like, well, you're always in group 1. Yeah, so here we go. Three tiers. You don't even need the D4. Tier 1 has this group of items that you roll a D6 on. Tier 2 has these. Tier 3 has these. You roll a D6, divide by 2. That's your D3. That chooses which group you roll in. Well, no, because if you're in Tier 2, you only roll from 1 and 2. You'd have to keep re-rolling until you...
Or you have the table. It's a D6. Then it's a 2D6 and a 3D6. And then you can go up to your 18 items. You add them together. The first 3 are kind of meh items. So when you're rolling a 3D6, if you get 3 1s and you end up at 3... So like the first 2 items are just like meh, right? Mm-hmm. Hear me out. And that way when you add a D6, you'll never get below a 3 at a tier 3 settlement.
What if, for simplicity, every settlement rolls the same table, but the settlement rank gives you that many rerolls, and then you can choose. So, like at a tier 3, you roll 3d6, and you pick 3 items, and then you have your choice of the litter, which one you want to bring with you.
Sure.
So basically rolling with boons, and then you pick what's the highest in your opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's simple.
Kind
of the same thing I was saying.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh,
I might have explained it wrong.
I thought you were adding dice and going up a.
No, that's what it's. You are adding dice for each settlement.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were
Right.
adding the values and going farther up a
Oh, no.
table. Yeah.
That was my first one, but you cut off the ladder and added the. Just pick one of the D6s that you like.
Okay. I pay attention. All right.
You're good.
So, I think that would be the easiest. And then.
Sure.
But then we would have to. Surely you come up with more than 6 items, right?
You can come up with 18.
And then you just, yeah, whatever the number is, then you just get that many more rerolls. Okay, so. I like that. So, Lance, he's got stuff everywhere.
Where are you putting this one?
I don't know. Didn't we have something about trading? That's not how you spell trading.
We got way off track today.
That's all right.
No, it's good.
All right. I guess I'm just gonna float this out somewhere on its own. Trading, except it's not really trading.
It kind of is because you can trade in your item.
Yeah.
Sure.
Trading. Every player gets one. What do we call it? Unique item slot.
Yeah.
Unique item slot. When in a safe zone, roll a table to see what unique item they have available for you. Rank of safe zone determines how many
I am never on the tracks.
rolls you get to make. Which
I'm lost now. I'm just kidding.
Alright, that makes sense.
I think that's simple. Like, and it's unique to this system or what we're doing.
It's weird how there's just no money involved anymore.
Why is that weird?
Maybe not weird. This is interesting. I like it. Like, we just removed the need for it. Can you trade your item with other players? That's what I was thinking. I feel like I would leave that out of the manual. I wouldn't say one way or the other. That way the GM can just make that call. Or that table.
Yeah, I would just leave it to the GM.
Yeah. So, you know.
Because I would probably let it happen.
Yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't.
But I'm not going to like make it a law.
Yeah.
Every player gets one unique item slot. One in safe zones. Roll a table to see the item they have available. How many rolls you get to make. So let's tie that into the collector. Because that's where this started. Right?
Yeah. Who does it? Yeah, it'd be a really strong inclination or perk or something to have 2 slots. You can hold 2 unique items.
I think that would be pretty powerful.
Yeah, doesn't make sense for the collector on the harvester tree here. But that would be a very strong inclination. Well, it depends on what the items are. It depends on what the items are and what you rolled.
Right. I guess that's what
I think I'm in favor of that being an inclination. It's just big backpack or something.
Is that it's an inclination or is it from the collector?
But it
Or are
doesn't
we
make
getting
any
rid of the
sense for the
collector?
collector to have it
Okay.
on the harvester skill tree. That doesn't make any sense at all. Unless... unless the collector... So the collector right now says you harvest good stuff from kills, specialized, shoot of scales, whiskers, you name it. You get the benefits of some kind when trading goods. What if every time you went to harvest something, you had some kind of system that you rolled to see basically the quality, and so many points you got, that's how many rerolls you got, regardless of the settlement size.
Is that too much tracking?
That's the thing. You'd have to make it really simple.
A great question, Dan. Good.
And it would also require a lot of combat, depending on how you did it. If you were like, yeah, every time you kill something, you roll d6. Every time you roll a 6, you get 1 point. And for each point, that's how many rerolls. You get one reroll. Like, that's very simple and obviously wouldn't work. But that's the theory, and that'd be a whole other resource to keep up with.
Like, it seems like a fun mechanic, but it also seems like another thing to track.
Yeah. Dang good. If these items are unique enough, would we be able to upgrade them down the road, or once you get a higher tier settlement? I'm thinking not. Really... I'm leaning towards the cycle in and out. Keep you using different things. Make you look forward to rolling and getting something new.
The only way I would use it as a GM is if I had a player who really wanted to upgrade their grappling gun or something. I may, that might be a cool reward, story reward or something like that. You know what I mean? Because you always got to keep it. That's how EZD6 works.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of the collector getting something. But yeah, then now you're tracking something's a problem.
And I don't mind a tracking, but that's not EZD6, right?
Right. Now, if you could figure out some kind of way, it wouldn't work at all, but it would be nice. Like, oh, you can turn karma points into a reroll or maybe just, hey, you can use a hero die to reroll your, but that still requires, like, it doesn't make sense for this specialization, because then you're like, well, you have to get in a fight in order to use yada 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 yada. But
that's how the whole harvester is, though, right?
Right, and it makes sense for what we have for the other specializations, but for this collector thing to bring back to other settlements does not make sense. Because then you're like, okay, I can turn hero dice into rerolls for settlement items. But, like, do I have to have gotten in at least one fight? I mean, actually, that would be pretty easy. If you can say, if you've gotten in at least one fight between settlements, then you've harvested something of value. You can now use... So, like, if you rolled up a hex map and there was settlement, 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 you couldn't just hit up all three.
I mean, that works. And it's not too much to track.
Is that worth a...
Is that a specialization?
Yeah. If there was something else that could come with it, maybe. But, like, I would like to include with that a way to get more hero dice, but considering what you spend hero dice on, that would make them really strong.
I'm not sure the collector fits.
Yeah. Golden Phoenix, I don't think collector... I don't think collector doesn't make much sense. Yeah, yep.
I think it's good that we go over these things.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, are we going to axe two things today? We must be getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Axing's the hard part, isn't it?
Yeah. Kill your darlings.
So, do you want to go to working from the top of the harvester for a little bit? I mean, we only have like 10 minutes, but...
Yeah. Harvester... I struggle with the armor rating, because like 6+, it's like, okay, that's the really weak guy, squishy, I like that. And then 5+, it's like, it's actually kind of strong.
Well,
and then 4 is just crazy. So.
I mean, I lean towards 5+, but
yeah,
because like the majority of the classes in vanilla were 5. The brute was a 6.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh, and vanilla. Yeah.
in vanilla, not in ours.
You had extra strikes. Yep.
The rascal is save against wounds on a 6, but you roll 2 dice
Yeah.
and use the higher. The magic guy 6.
Do you remember what our supply roll was? Is it 6+ you get a supply for that day?
Yes, it is.
Do we want to give Harvester a boon to that?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I feel like there's another class that does that.
You want me to tell you the classes we have so far?
No, I'm looking at them.
Does our viewers want to know the classes we have so far?
No, it's a secret.
It's secret.
We don't have one that does that.
We don't.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh,
Herbalist, but they were. Go ahead.
it was a race thing. Species.
Yeah, which we got to redo those anyways. Now that we have,
Yeah.
those got to be redone.
Yep. Okay, so let's say Harvester gets a boon on the forage roll. Or supply roll. You get... okay, that's pretty good on its own. Do we want to give him anything else? Or
I wasn't sure if we wanted to give them. That's really specific. I was gonna say a boon to knives, because they're good at cutting stuff open. But is that too specific?
yeah, also, well, that's just the mobile armory.
Yeah.
Because you could pick Harvester, mobile armory, and then you could
Then
pick
have
an
a boon,
inclination.
boon.
Well, you pick an inclination. It's like, well, I want melee weapons. Now you're stacking boons. You're rolling 3d6 so long as you have a tool on you.
3d6 still fail,
They do.
but I do think it's too powerful. Boon to understanding creatures.
Tracking.
Yeah. Now, does that take away from... You know what I noticed is we don't have a good... We have the warrior, but we don't have a good warden.
We have
or
woodsman.
We do? Where?
Yeah. Are you in the Word document or OneNote?
I'm in the Word document.
Yeah. Woodsman. Towards the bottom.
Oh.
That also had the Harvester
Oh.
under. That's where we're like, well, let's make Harvester its own tree.
Okay.
And we might still be back and forth on that, too.
Why?
I mean, do we want different Harvesters, or do we want to slide Harvester under Woodsman?
And then get rid of Alchemist?
Well, then would we want, like, some kind of... We could have a Crafter tree, and that's where you get your alchemy, your cook, which would probably be the same thing, but then your dang it, I had it right there. There was something else that was going to make stuff, not the tinker tools, but
The engineer?
yeah, I lost it. I don't know what it was. You could put Harvester under a crafting tree.
But you can't put a crafting class under Harvester. That's what I was told. Just kidding.
Oh man, I don't know.
I'm teasing you. Well, I mean, as a woodsman, the woodsman we were actually calling a job in this one, and we were, and these were just thoughts, but we had ranger / marksman, the harvester, and the scout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the woodsman, all we had was boon to wilderness tasks.
Yep.
So that was our wanderer, basically.
Yep.
Living in the wilds.
So the harvester would fit under there.
He would.
But then, so for me, do we put an alchemist potion brewer under student? And then we can get rid of the collector. We make the harvester just have the mobile armory underneath the woodsman.
It feels weird putting the alchemist under student. It makes sense because, you know, they had to learn how to do this and all that and study and research, but the alchemist is crafting and creating something, whereas scholar and priest aren't doing anything of that.
Yeah, fair enough. So then we go back to an engineer job with the alchemist underneath that. And then we do a
alchemist, harvester, and
that's it. Alchemist and harvester.
Maybe. Put it in the red over here.
We don't have to be sold on anything. It's just this is the organization that we're trying to come up with. Because that would leave the woodsman with ranger / marksman and scout. If we took the harvester out of that. Dan, well, it could be the chef. I mean, we were kind of putting that underneath the alchemist potion brewer.
Yeah, because we were... Alchemist is for like taking blood and venoms and stuff. That's where my mind's at. But as far as beneficial stuff, like we really like the idea of sandwiches.
We need somebody to make sandwiches.
So would the alchemist just be a pure poison maker? In which case, what do poisons do in EZD6?
Right.
Are they miraculous saves or?
Right. Or are we reaching too far? Chef. Potions. Alchemist does poisons. And then the harvester is...
Oh, we know what the harvester is.
Yeah. Equipment.
Meat sandwiches. Man, I could go for sandwich. I'm hungry.
I know, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm going to make me a sandwich. I think that we should get rid of harvester as a job. I think that is the right thing to do. And put it under the engineer job. And I think alchemist makes sense. But what is offensive?
I don't know, but I thought,
Huh?
there you go. Chef can get a forage boon. I mean, if you forced a miraculous save on an enemy, that's pretty intense. Like, if you could just poison them, it's like, all right, you're going to take one strike of damage every turn that you fail your miraculous save. Like, could be pretty cool. Depending on how hard it was to get a poison.
You and I need to talk about that. Because enemies could be...
Alchemist doesn't have to be poison resin like fire bombs. Well, then you're getting into Tinker Tool territory, I guess. Or I don't know. Just
that fits, right?
Yeah, but is that going to be taken away from settlement items? Because we had talked about giving them consumables.
Or is the settlement items too much?
I like the settlement items. I think that's a good thing.
Okay.
Especially if they're tools. I don't know about the consumable parts yet, but the tools are. I like that.
Well, we could just leave the consumables to the classes and jobs, specializations. Poison's a consumable. Bombs are a consumable.
Mm-hmm. But how do
But
they get them?
tinker tools. They make them out of that creatures.
Well, then you're back to the tinker tool. If you ask us, like, well, how do we determine how to make these things? It's just roll and hope, or say what you want, or yet another table to pull from. Because we're already, if we're gonna have the alchemist thing, we're already having 2 tables there between potions and poisons.
Yep.
So, which, you know, if it's just two little D6 tables, that's fine. And I think, where's EZD6? Potions. It has a little table. One potion is for a day you cannot be blinded. Ignore the turn you just took and retake it. A boon for the day and anything you wish.
Yeah.
For one scene, when you are hit by melee, missile, or magic, roll a d6 on a 4+. A mystic bolt springs from you, inflicting 1 strike. Ability to walk on any solid surfaces. So you. But that would be, see, that comes to that thing, like, man, every fight you get in, you could just start making potions, because that's a lot. Unless you said.
Correct.
Unless you said something like the base of this class, the base class gets an additional settlement slot, and then all these things that these subclasses make, the specializations, everything they make, takes up a settlement slot.
The slot.
Yeah. So
now, see, that's how you balance it.
Yeah.
That's how you balance it.
So
that's exactly how you balance it. So that way they're not punished if they can't harvest something. They still have the slot open. They can pick up something and fill that slot out of town if they want to. If it's empty, they can create something. Correct?
Yeah, I'll write this down. Whatever the specializations make. Chef, harvester. That's takes up a 7 slot. Yeah. So that way you're not just loading up. But you could re-roll, basically. I like this one better. So then, yeah, your alchemist could... It might be too much if the alchemist can roll potions or poisons. So we could pick, like, the chef makes good stuff. The alchemist makes bad stuff. The harvester makes weapons, which go in that tool slot.
Armor.
Yep. Yep. So I like that. We have to work on some...
I think that's better.
Negative potions. Poisons.
Negative potions. I don't think that's that hard. Things like immobilized, paralyzed.
Yeah, like paralyzed instead of
blinded.
Stunned is what I'm thinking. It's like now they attack with disadvantage or something, or a bane.
Yeah. You said disadvantage.
I was just wondering if there's a way, you put poison on your weapon. Do you say, like, yep, when you land a hit, this happens? Or do you say you poison your weapon and whenever you land a crit, this happens?
Oh, man. That's brutal, though.
Yeah, I like it just whenever
because
you
you're
hit.
Already limiting. I think it's just when you hit.
Yeah, because it's a one-time thing.
Now, you could, as a GM, this is just me, we don't have to put this as rules, but one of the rewards could be like, oh, you made a potent poison. It's going to last for 3 hits instead of just 1.
Yeah.
So, like,
or you can...
right now, when you hit, the poison comes off, right? Well, like, if you strike, the poison comes off. So then you could give them a potent poison as a reward. And this is just from a GM. We don't have to have this as rules, but it's just how I would do something. Like, oh, well, you know what? You You scored really well in that crafting, or this creature, whatever.
Yeah, I like that.
Was that too much?
No, I'm just sitting here thinking like maybe the settlement items probably need to be non-consumable. That way
I think so.
you're not
I
finding
think
yourself with 2 empty slots. Like so I like that.
I think so.
Okay, so let's look at next week here. We need that's
We need to redo all of our jobs.
no. Next week, work on settlement items. Work
Yep.
on potions and poisons.
Clean up our jobs.
Yeah,
And
well, that's what we were supposed to.
specializations
Fine
and
tuning gerb
species.
species and inclinations. Is what we were supposed to do. So
Instead,
let's.
we added more.
Yeah. All right, but we got stone items, and we figured out we don't need tinker tools. So
Yeah.
we
Hey, we did our goals.
we did. We just got a little distracted. It's fine. It's fine.
What did we get distracted by?
Classes. I don't know. Did we get distracted or did we work?
Not really. I feel like we got a lot done. We said no to things, Scrat. That's pretty impressive.
I know.
That's the hard part.
We axed the engineer and then brought it back.
So,
Oh, we brought
I
it
like
back
how we brought
better.
it back, though. We did. Bring it back better. Interesting.
All right.
All
And
right.
then trading.
Well
yeah,
done today.
Yeah. So
We got distracted by kissing.
yeah, our memes. Got 2 memes this week. I hate it so much.
Me too, with a passion.
You
But I love
love it. Yeah, as I say, you love it.
The first one killed me.
Terrible.
So good. Awesome. Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping in, participating. Dan Good, Great Mustache, Golden Phoenix Studio. I saw who was in there earlier? Peter. We had Dave. You guys are awesome. I thank you so much. And this is it's a fun project that Scrat and I are working on, and hopefully we can put more into the book, right, bud?
Yeah, man, you ready to start spending some money on artwork?
Yeah.
That's what the Kickstarter's for.
Sure.
So we can go hire Mr.
That's what the
Bova.
Kickstarter's for. Yeah. Mossy cobblestone. You guys are awesome.
Yep. You good next week? You gonna be here? You available?
I think so.
Let me double check mine. Maybe we'll be less tired next week.
Who, you?
Me.
Yeah, you're exhausted today. I believe so.
My calendar doesn't want to come up. I should be. I feel like if something was happening, I would have known by now and would have told you, hey.
There's a library kickoff
goes.
program, but I don't think it starts till. We should be fine.
It's tomorrow. Next week. Next week's Juneteenth. I drop a video and then I stream. So
perfect. Awesome. If anything changes, I'll let you know.
Yep. So say bye, YouTube.
Adios, YouTube.
That's not what I said to say.
I know, but I just
You know what that means? I'm gonna have to fire you. I'm gonna have to fire you. I haven't done that in a while.
Can you rehire me tonight?
Yeah, I'll think about it. Anyway, bye, YouTube.